So what's going on guys, K this here and welcome back to a brand new video. For today I will show you the best Deadeye PvE build in Lost Ark. So in this guide I will show you what abilities and awakening skill you want to get. Then I will explain what are the best engravings and cards to use for endgame content. And then lastly I will show you the best gameplay and even which stats you need to allocate for PvE so you would be able to get the best results and highest damage possible and much more. So no matter how low or high level or gear score your character is, you can easily use this build and follow the step-by-step guide. So if this sounds interesting to you, then let's get right into it. So this class can swap to 3 different weapons in order to match any fight, which makes this a very fun and well balanced class during the leveling and dungeon farming process. He has everything in his kit including mobility, single target and AoE damage. With 16 skills that you can slot into the skill bar, the pistol skills are used for mobility and engagement, then the shotgun is used for close range to medium ranged AoE damage, and then lastly the sniper is mainly used for long range damage. And then at the endgame we will be using the enhanced weapon engraving, which will give us even up to 30% crit rate and much more. So if you're looking for the best leveling, raiding, chaos dungeon or any other PvE content build, then this is the one for you. Okay, so now let's move over to the build itself, and these are the skills you want to have. And just before we start, you need to know that the Deadeye has 16 different abilities, and you will be able to use all of them, but not all of them should be upgraded. So in this build part, I will show you only the skills you want to upgrade, and then keep the rest of your weapon skills at level 1. So then for the first ability we have the Enforced Execution, and we use this time just 4 levels to unlock the excellent mobility, and then for your rune you don't want to select anything. Then for the second ability we have the Sign of the Apocalypse, and we use 10 levels to select the Close Shot, Enhanced Shot and Approaching Apocalypse. And then lastly for your rune you want to get the Gale Wind. Then for the next one we have the Shotgun Dominator ability, and we use 10 more levels to unlock the Close Shot, Weak Point Detection and the Ruler. And then for your rune you want to get the Gale Wind. Then for the fourth ability we have the AT-02 Grenade, and this time we use just 4 levels to select the Weakness Exposure. And then lastly for your rune you want to get the Bleed. Then for the next one we have the Shotgun Rapid Fire skill, and we use 10 levels to unlock the Close Shot, Enhanced Shot and Special Bullet. And then for your rune you want to get the Gale Wind. So then for the next ability we have the Spiral Tracker, and this time we just want to select the Conviction rune. Then for the 7th ability we have the Cruel Cutter, and we use 10 levels to unlock the Quick Preparation, Rapid Fire Enhancement and Explosive Bullet. And then for your rune you don't want to select anything. Then for the next one we have the Dexterous Shot, and we want to only select the Rage rune. Then for one of the last abilities we have the Equilibrium, and we again only select the Judgment rune. Then for the next ability we have the Last Request, and we use just 4 levels to unlock the Quick Preparation. And then lastly for your rune you want to get the Overwhelm. And then for the last and final ability we have the Quick Shot, and we use our last 10 levels to select the Swift Fingers, Initiate Shot and Vital Point Shot. And then for your rune you don't want to select anything. Then as well after level 50 for your awakening skill you want to get the Bursting Flare. But if you haven't reached level 50 yet, then here's a specific guide on which abilities you should upgrade first while leveling with the Deadeye. And then on top of all this, focus on equipping as high item level gear as you can. And then at the endgame you should have 350 crit and 1250 specialization. But again, if you haven't reached this point yet, then try to have around 70% stats into specialization and the rest 30% stats into crit. Okay, so then the way I would recommend to upgrade this build is at level 50, you will get around 250 points. So this is how your build should look like. But then by doing more and more endgame content you will get more points. And at the absolute endgame this is how your build should look like with all the 412 skill points. So at the start you use the 252 point build, and then by leveling up and completing quests you will get more points. So just keep on improving your skills and getting higher tier runes as well. So then let's move over to the engravings, and you want to get the enhanced weapon. This engraving each time you swap your weapon will increase your crit rate from 20 to 30% depending on your level for the next 9 seconds. And then at early levels I would recommend to keep this engraving at level 1 because the next levels only will give you 5% crit rate. So upgrade the rest of your engravings first and then later only finish this one. So then for the second engraving we have the Master of Ambush. and this complements the Deadeye very good because you already have a back attack bonus and from using the shotgun, this will make your weapon even more powerful. Then the next one is called the Adrenaline. This engraving will provide a additional source of crit rate and attack power, and these stacks are easy to upkeep since you can spam your pistol skills 24/7. Then for the fourth engraving, you want to get the Keen Blunt Weapon. This engraving is very good for our build because we get super high crit rate just from our previous engravings and our selected tripods. So then by using this engraving, you will get additional crit damage, which will boost your overall damage capabilities. Then the next one is called the Grudge, and this is more advanced engraving that is recommended for tier 3 content. This Grudge is the most efficient engraving against mobs and you will get your damage increased, but in return you will take 20% more damage. So when you get to the very end game content, which is called tier 3, then get this engraving, and before using it, get it to at least level 2, because at level 1 this engraving is not that efficient. And then for the last one we have the Cursed Doll, and this is a significant attack power increase at the cost of 25% healing penalty. This penalty can be offset by paying more attention on dodging red AoE circles and by using healing potions more often. So then in my summary, I would recommend to get the top 3 engravings first and then the bottom 3. And then last but not the least, let's move over to your cards, and you want to get the Shandy, Azena and Ainana, Nineveh, Vey, Baldur and Tyrain. In general, these cards are an endgame system for maximizing your character, so you don't have to get them right away, but these specific cards will optimize your damage output in PvE even more. I did bunch of testing for this build and this was the best and most optimized card set. Okay, so then moving over to the gameplay, and if you have played this class while leveling, you will be very familiar with the skills. So I will just try to give you a short description. So then for the first 2 abilities, we have the Spiral Tracker and AT-02 Grenade. These skills apply a party synergy debuff called Weakness Exposure, which boosts crit rate on a target by 10% for all allies. And I would recommend to rotate between these skills to maintain the debuff because you can't stack them. Then the next ability is called the Shotgun Dominator, which is a holding skill with a high AoE damage. You have to hit a perfect zone near the enemy to maximize the amount of shots fired. Then the next 2 abilities called the Quick Shot and Cruel Tracker are used to deal damage when shotgun skills are on cooldown. Then for the next 3 abilities we have the rifle skills called Spiral Flame, Catastrophe and Perfect Shot, and these abilities are used to stagger or part break the enemy. Then for one of the last abilities we have the Enforce Execution and Dexterous Shot, so you would be able to move around the enemy or around the map a lot faster, and you can even use the Enforce Execution skill to counter attack the endgame boss. And then from here the rest of your skills are simple damage dealers, and I will explain more about which DPS skills you want to use in whatever order to get the maximum damage, so stay tuned for that. And then last but not the least, for your Awakening skill we have the Bursting Flare, and this is a big damage ability that will summon a large caliber rifle, so then you can shoot multiple times with different special bullets, and each bullet will do high damage. And then for the last shot, if you hit the enemies you will throw them in the air. I usually use this skill for more damage as we already have 16 other skills to think about, so if you are getting overwhelmed by big monster groups, then for sure don't forget to use the skill. Okay, so then let's take a closer look at your best skill rotation, and first of all it is important to prioritize your shotgun skills as they do the most damage. They only deal full damage when you are right next to the monsters or the boss, and it will do less damage the further away you are from the enemy. And then on top of all this, when you use the shotgun, try to get behind the enemy as much as possible, because from the back attacks you will get plus 10% crit rate and plus 5% damage increase. Okay, so first of all, even before the rotation starts, at the beginning of the fight, you want to use your pistol and move around the enemies by using the Enforced Execution, Summer Assault Shot and Dexterous Shot. So then when we are behind the enemy, our rotation starts. So first of all, you want to use still the pistol and debuff our enemies by using the Spiral Tracker. Then from here, in the next 6 to 8 seconds, we want to swap to the shotgun and use the last request, Shotgun Dominator, Shotgun Rapid Fire and Sign of Apocalypse. Then we swap to the pistol and use Quick Shot, Cruel Tracker, Equilibrium, and we reapply the second debuff from our AT-02 grenade. And then lastly, we swap to the rifle stance and use the Perfect Shot, Spiral Flame, Catastrophe and Triple Explosion. So let's see what we did in this rotation. In the first part, we started the fight with our pistol mobility skills, so it would be easier to get behind the enemy. Then our rotation started when we put a debuff on our enemy by using the Spiral Tracker. And then by swapping to our shotgun, we activated our enhanced engraving that gives us more crit rate for swapping weapons. So then when using the shotgun, we use our main damage skills in the 6 to 8 second period. Then from here, we switch back to the pistol and use 2 to 3 skills for simple damage. And then most importantly, before switching to the rifle, we apply our second debuff by using the AT-02 grenade. So now again, we have from 6 to 8 seconds to swap to our rifle and use all fire damage dealers. When you are done with the rotation, you start again at the beginning, and that's about it. So now for my last and final conclusions for this build. So first of all, remember that the shotgun skills are the main damage dealers. So always prioritize that part first, and then use the pistol and rifle skills as fillers while waiting for the shotgun skills to come off cooldown. Then as well, don't forget to keep up the weakness exposure debuff for you and your allies by using the spiral tracker and AT-02 grenade. And then lastly, focus on specialization for more damage as you get very high crit rate from the enhanced weapon engraving, and that's about it. So I really do appreciate everyone for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions, feedback, or other good Lost Ark PvE classes that you would like to see in the next video, then feel free to leave your comments in the comment section down below. And while you're doing that, please click like, subscribe, and enable that notification bell, so this way you could support the channel and you wouldn't miss any more amazing content from me. With all this said, you have an amazing day, and I'll catch you in my next video. So take it easy, peace.